My mom-in-law and I decided to go on a cruise ship all the way to the North Pole, and we're sharing a cabin. It's just the two of us and a few of her family members from her side. I'm having a blast, and I thought, let me just cover some of these moments. I usually do not make a lot of content or a lot of videos when I travel, but one, I have a lot of free time because for the last 3 days we've just been in the water. Our goal is to first get all the way onto the North Pole and then do all the stops. But also in the Arctic you don't really have land per se. You do have land, but you don't have land on the path that we are going on, so it's just giant masses of ice. And what that means is that even if you did step down, you don't really have much to do. We took a flight to Paris. From Paris we landed in Longyearbyen in Norway, and that's where we boarded our cruise ship. Now, this cruise turned out to be way fancier than both of us had imagined. In fact, we were all ready to sort of pack our theplas and just wing it out in what we thought would be a very grunge trip, but we were spoiled by the best of French hospitality. And it wasn't just about the food. We had chocolates, live music, and a lovely crew. We did some aqua zumba. We didn't quite use the snow room and spent only about a few minutes in the sauna. That view, by the way, was to die for. We did manage to squeeze in a workout or two. It doesn't even feel like a workout when you've got this view. But my favorite part was this hot soak in the freezing temperatures. Spot, that side.
Infinity pool in the Arctic Ocean.
The last few days I have done different kinds of workouts. They have a lot of cruise activities. My mom-in-law is in the theater right now. She is watching a video on a polar expedition that had happened some years ago. Honestly though, I have got her and her brother sleeping in the theater on more than one occasion. So it's just education about the ecological system here, about even how this cruise liner works, of how we're going to be navigating the ice safely. There were a lot of safety trainings that we had, so I'm going to see if I want to do the polar jump, which is where you just sort of jump into the freezing polar water. That's one thing to try. There's kayaking again in the polar water. It's very cold. Like right now I think it's -1 degree Celsius, so it's kind of on the colder side. We were literally surrounded by ice for 5-6 days at a stretch. And all these people have gathered outside on the deck because a polar bear was spotted. And finally we reached the North Pole. Woohoo! We obviously had to have our flag represented. And since you've been watching this video for a while now, this is a bonus map for you. A very ancient one for reference.
When I say winter, usually it's around March time. February, March, April,
I wanted to use these 15 days also to, one, reconnect with my spiritual practice, which over the last couple of years has been a little haywire. The second thing was that I had been going through a bit of a creative/work burnout, and I wanted to sort of reconnect with that spirit and excitement of bringing myself creatively to my workspace. I started allocating 1 hour to just restarting my meditation routine. I found this really cute little spot, and that was my silent corner, and that's where I usually went to meditate. I do intermittent fasting. After my meditation, I would break my fast at the detox bar that they have over here. This just turned out to be way more luxurious than I thought it would be. I thought that this was going to be a really isolated sort of a cruise where we won't have much to do, so Mom and I would just be reading our books, bonding over adventures. And in fact, I was kind of looking forward to some of those adventures too, because that's where you really bond, right? Like through shared struggle. And clearly, as you can see, there was not much struggle here. There were a few occasions where she went ahead with all the activities and I stayed back to either work or to be by myself and finish reading the books that I had started reading, and so on and so forth. That's something that I really enjoy about hanging with my mother-in-law. There's no pressure to always entertain each other, or like she's very comfortable, like she's very independent, she's very comfortable just doing her own thing. She doesn't need company, but then she really enjoys company when she has it. I'm more of a loner, especially because of the kind of spiritual practice that I am into, that allows you to sort of live in harmony with all the material comforts around you, especially because you've not been chasing them, they've been just around you. You're just kind of living through life with a sense of stoicism. And what that also means is that you don't get a lot of FOMO when you're saying no to certain things, such as in the middle of the night, there were a couple of polar bear sightings, and the captain would make an announcement, and I'd be in bed. I would be like, okay, so great, like mom is doing it. I'll live vicariously through her experience. I think I still need to master the art of chilling. Was not able to digest that I was on a 15-day cruise and not working. I also wanted to use this time to just zen out and just be a little inward seeking. Open up certain hidden things that I have been brushing under the carpet because there's been no time to unravel them, and have this closed sort of a space, a cruise ship where you literally have nowhere to go, right? And you'll just jump into the water, or in this case, Arctic ice. Using that space to just comb through everything in the shadow, or in fact the light, of someone who's much wiser than me, and someone in whose face I can even see my future in some ways. Like 30 years down the line, I'll be her age, and seeing her have fun, seeing her actually be so spirited and so excited watching a seal or watching the blue whale that she did and I didn't, because joy of missing out, I guess. Well, I do regret not seeing that blue whale though. I needed that rest, and God bless Starlink, which allowed me to not just video call my family from the North Pole, but also to sort of be that hustle girly and be like, hey, I'm attending this meeting from the North Pole. And that was pretty cool. Let's get back into all the other activities that we did, because we obviously did quite a few adventurous things as well. So we had a lot of these zodiac rides. Now zodiacs are like these inflatable boats that we get onto, and they're operated like there is an engine, so it's not like you're rowing, but you would still get water splashing onto you. There are certain safety protocols, how do you get in, how do you get out, and all of that. But honestly, it was nothing. It's just, I think the only uncomfortable part in all of this was the cold. I was also slightly afraid kayaking, because a couple of people before us had fallen into the water, and while again you have all your safety suits and everything in place, but it's still freezing cold, and I didn't want to be the reason why my mom-in-law drops into the water. So like there was this added pressure of responsibility there, but I think we did a fab job. And I think what was really cute was where mom and I were sort of taking care of each other, and I realized that there were so many subconscious moments where she would ask me, are you okay, are you cold? And then I would be like, mom, are you okay, do you need sunglasses, mom, this, like there was always a very soft sense of taking care of each other, which is very feminine. And again, this is a very girls trip sort of a vibe, where girls sort of take care of each other, they blow dry each other's hair, which I did for mom quite a few times, because we were scared that straighteners are not allowed on a cruise, so we didn't get them. She gave me her body lotions, and like we were just sharing toiletries, and like it's like, and that thing where you do self-care at night before you go to bed, when you've kind of had a nice adventurous day, and then you sort of come back together and you're winding down and you are like applying lotion together. And that's just such a fun thing to do. So yeah, so this has been quite an exciting girl trip for me, and I think there's something very soothing and satisfying seeing our moms and our mother-in-laws thrive and be happy like that. And I think that's the biggest gift we can give to our family members, right? To show them that we're happy in their company. And I think it does come down to that. Like humans want to feel like they are bringing joy and happiness to other people, like their existence means something. And sharing these moments of joy they're so precious.